On the Radio is brought to you by Zurich Insurance, the perfect place to catch up with all things Melbourne. If you enjoy this content and want more inside access from the team, make sure you visit the club website.
We've got a trip to Fremantle coming up in the next couple of weeks. Harris! She deserves the opportunity to put Melbourne in front. And does. Melbourne dive on the ball and stop the clock.
Are you kidding?
Free kick to Brisbane.
To Greta Bodie.
Lightning strikes twice. It's Greta Bodie again.
And I reckon she's nearly exactly the same distance out as she was last time they played.
She would have relived that moment over and over. An opportunity for redemption. Similar spot. This time around, similar result. It doesn't make the distance. Melbourne with one of the great comeback victories of this NAB AFLW season. 17 points down at half-time. They win it by 3 points.
Yeah, I think we're definitely on the back foot at half-time. Their intensity around the ball, their work rate, I think it taught us a lot in a short space of time, and I think our midfield was able to respond. Yeah, I think that'll do a lot for building belief. Certainly credit to Brisbane. They competed really well. They taught us a lesson in the first half, and they've played 3 games, I think, in 8 or 9 days. So to do what they did tonight off the back of that, I've got a lot of respect for them.
Jack Heverin on Fox Footy calling the action. Coach Mick Stanier having a chat after. It was a good game to watch on Fox Footy last night. Lily Mithen is about to join me. Still to come. Lost in the wash, so if you've got something we should have discussed by now, then jump on the line, 1300 736 736, or send through a text if you think we should have discussed it by now. But it's been lost in the mayhem of having Eddie and a couple of other issues to talk about. Send through your text 0433 98 11 16. Text machine for Temper, T-E-M-P. You are mattresses and pillows like no other. And Matthew Dellavedova to join us in about half an hour from now. But Lily Mithen has become a bit of a regular on this program. Melbourne AFLW star joining us for a McCafe coffee catch-up. Distractingly good deals only on the My Macca's app. Congratulations to you, Lily, and welcome back.
Thanks, Dwayne. Thanks for having me again. Yeah, it was a good win last night, so it's a happy Tuesday today.
Yeah, it was a high-quality contest as well. It seemed like the ground or the conditions were conducive to good footy, even though they were playing the majority of it early, and well, had 3-0 on the board almost before you blinked.
I know it was a slow start on our end, but they're a bloody good team to play 3 games in about 9 days or something. It was pretty impressive for them to come out and really whack us between the eyes. They had us a bit shell shocked in that first half, and conditions were hot. It was very humid, so it was a sort of a wet weather game in the end, and I think they adjusted far better. We were playing like it was wet weather footy, and we were super fumbly and just sort of watched them run rings around us. But yeah, it was nice to have a bit of a wake-up call at half-time and get it back on our terms and run away with the win. It was a close one, and these fans sitting at home wouldn't have probably loved it, but happy with the end result.
So was that in your mind? Does that get reinforced at halftime, the fact that they might fatigue because they're playing so many games in a short space? I think we were just being outworked. So as much as we were confident enough that we were going to turn it around, we did probably think that we had the engine room to keep going and to run over the top of them at some point in time. I think we were probably just ball watching initially in the first half and weren't playing to our full potential. And probably just being a little bit lazy and a bit shell-shocked, as I mentioned. So I think them and probably a bit of fatigue set in for them, and that was probably one part of the reason, but I think the large part of the reason was a shift in our mindset, and we started winning the contested footy and started taking the footy forward and giving our forwards a really good look. A few whiteboard changes and a few magnets thrown around to get the game back on our terms definitely helped with the end result. But yeah, it was a game that sort of had it all. And you're a very watchable team, Lily. You're a star in your own right. You've got Daisy Pearce, who a lot of people know is one of the smartest players and most reliable players and best players in the game. You've got Taylor Harris, who's got arguably the best hands
in the game when it comes to, a contested mark. I think she took 7 last night, which is the equal record in an AFLW game. You got Alyssa Bannon, who, if you haven't seen Alyssa Bannon play, tune into a Melbourne game. Her run and carry and the ability to be able to bounce and control play is just fluently beautiful. And you got Karen Paxman, who looks like she's been playing from the age of 1.
Oh, I know. Yeah, there's some serious players in our lineup. And, honestly, Taylor Harris, that was probably one of the best games I've seen from a player at this level. The way that she competed in the air and just managed to clunk everything, she would be so hard to play on. If I was a opposition defender, I would be genuinely frightened to come up against her. She was unbelievable. And then, as you mentioned, Days, we threw her back behind the footy, just obviously with her smarts and the way she uses the footy. She just sort of created so much offense, but then just really sort of steadied the ship and sent the girls in the right direction. And if you listen to her commentate, the way that she knows footy and the way that she can, I guess, instruct and set the ground up is second to none, and she's probably the best in the game at it. So to have her back in defence when things weren't sort of quite looking the way we want it to look, she was a big reason as to how we, I guess, stopped their impact hitting the scoreboard and set up a lot of our offence. And a lot of that was then carried out through Banner, who you mentioned. She's just so quick and electric up forward. We sort of gave her a bit more space up forward and said, here you go, do what you can with this space. We'll kick it for you and we'll leave the rest to you. And she was able to convert as well. So, it was a really good team performance, but obviously a few key standouts, as you mentioned.
And Greta Bodie's final kick, did you think she was going to be able to get it, or were you always thinking that it might be a metre too far?
To be honest, I did think she was probably right on her limit. And funnily enough, she had the exact same shot after the siren last year when we played them to win the game potentially, and just fell short. So I was definitely hoping that it was going to be a similar sort of outcome. As I mentioned, 3 games in 9 days, hot conditions, hot game, right at the very last second of the game. I was thinking that it'd be a fair effort to get the carry. Unfortunately for us, it did fall short. So that was that was an exhilarating finish to finish on those terms. And, you don't really want to be celebrating to someone else's, I guess, misfortune. But at the same time, it was, it was a very exciting way to finish the game. And, looking forward to another really big opponent in North Melbourne this weekend. And hopefully it's not as close. But, looking forward to putting together another really good performance.
Yeah, it should be a ripper game. I might have to send Greta Bodie Malcolm Blight's book of 100 little 1%ers that can add to your game. Just he's old. If you're on a 45-degree angle with a kick at your distance to win the game, you've got to aim to get it just inside the left post as opposed to aiming to get it in the middle of the goal. That was one of his that he used to ram home because it's always going to drift across. But anyway, that's something for another time. I'll drag that book out of the cupboard and dust it off at some stage.
I think she's known to really sort of swing around and try and get some more distance that way. But obviously, given it had to be a set shot and she couldn't play on, she couldn't sort of use her natural kicking action. I think she's got a soccer background, so that's a large reason as to why she sort of does wheel around Buddy Franklin style just to get a bit more distance through the kick. But, thankfully for us, she couldn't do that and had to stay on her line.
Yeah, I saw the umpire telling her as well, reinforcing, don't you run around, as he was walking back with her as well. So North Melbourne, should be good. Hopefully you get a good crowd. The crowds have been pretty good for North Melbourne games.
Yeah, we always have really solid games against them. We match up really well. We're both really strong in the contest and have good key forwards, and it's always a really good spectacle. So we played them Saturday night last year also, and it's again Saturday night, Indigenous round 2. So it'd be great to pull on our Indigenous jumpers, and it's always such an exciting round. Seeing everyone's jumpers and just the way that you can embrace the community and get all the fans out there. So I'm really looking forward to it. They're in some red hot form. I think Jazz Garner had sort of 25 plus and kicked 3 goals, so she's going to be one to watch. And their other key mids are
all in good form too. So it'll be cracking match up, and hopefully we're the beneficiaries.
Great to have you, Lily. Always good to be able to have a chat to you about footy. People love it when you're on. Get plenty of texts through. So be nice to have you on this semi-regular basis like we have. I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Dwayne. We'll chat soon then. I look forward to it.